Ladies and gentlemen, we are live on the Boot Hill Sports Network. Thank you so much for joining us once again on this Wednesday night. It's the Coach Dom Show. Coach G, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. We had a good day of practice. We're ready to go.
And I see we've got a couple special guests with us. Can you tell me who's sitting behind you?
Up to the back is Sammy, Bryant, our starting back, and all the way to my right.
I think I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing you, so let me see if everything's going through okay. Now, just kind of breaking up a little bit. Let me see. Mark, can you hear everything?
I think it's Coach Mike. You got your mic turned up, Coach.
Hear me now?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, I just got to talk about it.
Okay, so once again we have Sammy Bryant. I couldn't understand the second guest we have.
Big Stevens, our starting center.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll just start off with the facts. You're coming off a huge win this past Friday night. 40-32 over an undefeated Kennett team. Can you tell me just a little bit? I know we talked about it last week, but going into the game, what was the preparation? What was the mindset?
The thing for us was we had to get ready for the formations and a couple of the plays they run. Upford does a good job. I mean, it's so wide, so their formation had to be. I think the big thing was because we just we were able to get healthy. So we really wanted to get everything. First half, we were able to go. We had a good turnover, which screwed us. So, as prepared, there was a lot of miles. Finding what to do, we just want to have it every day.
Well, I know it had to mean a lot to the team, and I know that I kind of overhyped the whole them being undefeated and you going in trying to break that. You gave them their first loss of the season, but you could just see it even all the way up in the press box. You could see the emotions from the players, from the coaches, and everyone. It seemed like it was possibly your strongest win of the season so far.
I think so. I mean, the Malden win was lopsided, and the Donovan win was free, and this win, we had to work, and this was the first full game we played. I mean, we started pulling starters out of Park Hills. It got out of hand on us on the wrong way, and then against Malden, we pulled our starters in the second half. So we were looking forward to Donovan to play a full game because we do on this road stretch. I mean, you're talking Kennett, New Madrid, Dexter. These are like the big dogs in the conference, and we wanted to get in a full game before we played Kennett. It just didn't work out because Donovan forfeited. So really for the first time this season, these kids had to play 48 straight minutes of football. And special teams, offense, defense, and our defense stepped up huge. And
go ahead.
And I think we showed that we could play 4 quarters of football, and it was great to get the win under our belt, a hard-fought win, a rivalry win, and now we're getting ready to play another 4 quarters of football against the Madrid.
Well, and that's like I said, from the booth, I can't tell you. In fact, Charlie Duckworth was doing the camera work for me, and he said by far the most exciting football game he's seen. And I have to put it in 20 years of calling games. I'd have to say it's definitely in my top 3. It was a nail biter. It It was fantastic. You went on the road, beat them in their town, their field, and it was all around a great showing by offense and defense. I mean, the whole team really showed out.
Yeah, we were proud of the guys. They did really well.
And I believe Sammy finished right at almost 150 yards total. Is that correct?
I think he was 149. He couldn't muster.
We're just going to go with. We're going to go with 150. We'll make that official. Sammy Bryant, 150 yards. I think the most notable thing for me was that, Sammy, most of your runs, you found seams almost in the middle or right up the middle. It's somewhere close to the middle, not just outside on the sidelines. It seems like you just broke through and you were getting good blocking.
Yes, speaker.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, it was an impressive showing, Sammy. We enjoyed it very much so. And then I believe Jermonte had around 200 so-and-so yards.
Yeah, Jermonte and Abion, like, we had a nice three-headed monster on the football. And what was really impressive is our offensive line buckled down, and they rose to the occasion. I think the interior of Bennett's defense was their strength. And they paved the way, man. We pulled our fullback in, and we were like, you know what? Let's just get back to power running the football, and we were able to break them open. And
it worked, and it was another come from behind victory. I know that's got to feel good for the players, because sometimes you see players get down and out about themselves whenever they're trailing, and just don't play as hard. But Caruthersville just kept fighting and fighting, and once they finally took the big lead, they held on to it, especially with a big fourth quarter stand.
Yeah, I mean, we have one of the best motivators in the boot hill in Coach Treese. I mean, that was a passionate game for him, and he got me fired up. Like, I was already fired up, but my skin was crawling from Coach Treese's speech. So it was great. It was great.
That was just overall a fantastic win. And you see so many people from the community each and every day, and they've been talking about it all week. Really, that win really got the city fired up. And I know we go back to on the road on Friday night, but then you're coming home for a couple game stretch, and I got a feeling that's going to be a packed house at hockey.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we come back, and we've got Charleston October 5th. And, we got ourselves a little rivalry going on, too. So, right before fall break, we're going to honor the 2003 football team that day. And it should be a really exciting home game for us.
Well, see, I don't honestly, when you look at the schedule, other than like your Park Hills or those here and there odds that are far away, even at Donovan, but most of the teams on the schedule seem to be rivalries now.
Yeah, I mean, I think we played them so long in conference, and we play them in basketball, we play them in baseball, and the kids know each other, and they're friends, and they hang out, and that almost breeds a natural rivalry when you're playing against your friends.
Exactly. Before I want to get the gentlemen behind you to introduce themselves, but right before that, you realize they're the elephant in the room. We were going to talk about it. Can you describe 20 years I've been covering high school football. I've never seen a fan run on the field. Can you kind of just walk me through what was going through your mind, and even the guys back there? What was going through your heads when this fan came on waving an American flag and ended up getting, I believe, tased and tackled by one of our very own coaches?
It's nice to see passionate football fans out there. We'll call them passionate. It was interesting, that whole situation. I think he comes running across the field, and I was like, is this like a natural, like a TV timeout? And then, like, it was the most interesting situation I've ever seen. And
don't hold back, Coach. Don't hold back for me. I want to know, because like I said, I was in the booth and just could not believe it. I've seen it in college and in NFL and baseball, but never on high school field. So I just have to know what was going through the entire team's mind, not to mention yours.
I was just like, what is going on? Like, we're in the middle of trying to stop him from scoring, and then all of a sudden this passionate fan runs on the field, and we're like, what? So I go get between the passionate fan and the cheerleaders, and he's yelling whatever, and then tackle the game goes to Doug White, because Doug White walks over. I mean, Doug White, he's stout. That's a stout man. And
yeah, he is, yeah.
Thankfully, we had 2 police officers in the bleachers and parents that came down to kind of protect the kids and the fans. I mean, Little Jerry and Big Jerry Hudgens were there, and naturally, because Jared plays, and they were able to come down and lend some assistance. And we had parents they stepped up to protect the kids, and Doug White naturally got the tackle of the game. And we're fortunate that, as adverse as the situation was, we were able to come out of there without any of our players, any of our cheerleaders, or any of our fans getting hurt. And but yeah, it was interesting. You froze up there, Jeremy.
Okay, yeah, we definitely lost you for just a second, but yeah, like I said, that was one of the craziest things I've seen on a high school football field in my life, and I'm just glad everyone was okay, and that was the first thing that I heard. Now, let me ask you this. So you gave Coach White the game ball. Did he take it home? Is he going to keep that like in a trophy case?
I told the kids to give it to him because we took an old football rule and wrote tackle of the game on it.
Okay.
I think dropping the proverbial ball and giving it to him, but I hope it ends up in his office. That's something he should be proud of. I mean, he's
Absolutely.
a 35-year-old man who had to tackle the game.
That's fantastic. Again, we don't like to see that kind of thing. I know we can all laugh about it now, and luckily no one got hurt except for the man with the American flag. Pretty sure he took 50,000 volts, but other than that, everyone was safe, and it's all fun and games. I'd like to hear now, can you have your players here behind you give me a little introduction? Just kind of tell me your name, position, and just what you're all about.
My name is Sammy, I'm the star running back.
Are you from Caruthersville?
Yes, sir.
And what year are you right now?
126. Sophomore.
Yep, sophomore. So you got a lot of time ahead of you too. Sammy, I can tell you, I've watched you in basketball and this year in football. Well, and last year too, when I was in the PA announcing booth. You got a lot of talent, buddy, and you're very strong, very good, and elusive. And all I can say is I look forward to the rest of your high school career, and I got a good feeling you'll be playing on Saturdays in just a few years.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. And next up.
My name is Jake Stevens. I started center and played
I got a good question for you for a lot of the fans that don't know. So you've probably dealt with 2 or 3 different quarterbacks just over this year or maybe even last season. What's it like how do you get that relationship with the quarterbacks where you guys get in touch and in sync and everything just flows?
Well, it's real easy when you're friends with both of them. Like, it's not much of a change. It's just a matter of, like, I can tell based on the cadence who's behind me. So it really is not much of a difference. It makes everything a whole lot easier.
Right. That's impressive. I know how it seems like that can be difficult when you're alternating quarterbacks or whatever. But so far, it's working for Caruthersville. It's obviously working for both of you guys. And of course, you're not done talking, but I just want to say thank you both for joining us before I get back to Coach.
Of course.
Coach, any final thoughts on improving to 3-1 after a huge win against Kennett?
It's nice to be on the right side of the win column naturally. But I think our focus is shift. We're in the thick of our schedule here. You're talking 2A powerhouse, Madrid. You're talking 3A powerhouse, Dexter. And then our next game is a team that knocked us out of the playoffs last year in Charleston. And then you're looking at East Prairie, who gave us a pretty decent game on the road last year. And then you're talking the Battle of the Boot Hill. So we're in the thick of the schedule. This is prime time, pedal to the metal, playing hard football.
Do you feel like the team feels the extra pressure, added pressure? Because, I mean, all of us know, the sports writers and columnists and broadcasters, we look at the schedule, we know, it is, like you said, it's prime time. It's time to go. It's time to get those big wins, but you just came off a huge one. How about the team? Do you see any extra pressure building on them? Do they feel extra pressure? You guys can answer too.
From my perspective, I think we've had an increase in focus. Today we changed our practice schedule up a little bit to kind of suit where our mindset's at and reorganize some things. And the kids have rose to the occasion, had a really good day. I think from when we're in the thick of the schedule and we're playing the big dogs on our schedule again, I think that they're bringing everybody in the program up to rise to the occasion. From the guys who don't necessarily play on Friday nights, the superstars. I think the kids have done a really good job of bringing the whole program up to the level to where we can compete and hopefully bring home a couple W's on this road stretch.
How do you feel, because I know Tigers got a little banged up the first couple of weeks. How do you feel the team health overall is right now?
I think we're in a pretty good spot. We've really focused on the preventative maintenance of getting banged up. We got the S-tubs going. We've got Icy Hot and Tiger Balm and all that kind of stuff. And the kids, we've been still pumping water all day. So we've really ramped up our preventative actions of keeping our kids healthy.
You have to. The hydration is always one of the biggest parts. I know usually the first 2 weeks of the season is tough. And you get cramps right and left. Just not ready for that heat. Now we're starting to cool down a little bit. So hopefully we're going to get into some of that football weather. Are you ready to talk about New Madrid?
Sure.
Well, let's talk about it. For the second week in a row, you're going up on the road against an undefeated team. Before we get into too many details, what do you know about New Madrid?
I know that they've got some dudes. The two that really they have really three that really stick out to me. Naturally, BJ. He's committed close to Carolina. The kids, I've seen him play basketball. We played him last year. The kid's big, aggressive, plays good football. BJ Williamson, their quarterback, he's good too, man. I mean, BJ wouldn't be BJ without the quarterback that can give him the ball. He's quick. We saw him on the basketball court. We saw him on the football field last year. And their running back, he's pretty talented. That I think his last name is Minner, and he's pretty talented football player.
Yeah, I remember the game last year was in hockey, and it seemed like even with the size they have, they got a lot of speed.
That's a good. I mean, Coach Fullhart comes really
okay.
There.
Now and I should know this, but because he's a good friend of mine, is Tyler still there coaching?
Fullhart?
Yes.
Yeah, he's our head football coach.
Okay. I didn't know. I remember I heard rumors in the offseason that he might be going somewhere else, but if he's still there, yes, Tyler is he was a heck of a player, football and baseball, and I've seen him coach a time or two, and I know last year didn't go the way for Caruthersville, so I've seen the way that he can coach, and I'm pretty sure he got that from some of his prior coaches, but a win's a win, like you said last week.
Oh, sorry, we got corrected. Jadis Jones, B.J. Williamson, and Minner.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
I can't even keep
So-
my kids good time. So, ooh.
I'm terrible with names. And this is one of those generic questions you get every week. What kind of preparations after you come off a big win against Canada on the road? You're going back on the road to New Madrid. What kind of preparations are these guys going through against an undefeated 4-0 Eagles team?
Honestly, it's right back to it. I mean, it's just we're coming off a big win, obviously, and it just got to do it all over again. It's just a matter of getting into practice and doing what we need to do and getting in and just putting in work.
Same thing for you, Sammy?
Yes, sir.
Coach, anything different? Or is it just week by week, just team by team?
I think our mindset's always the same. Depending on the week, I mean, we got to spend more time on offense, more time on defense, more time on special teams. There's always something that we see from the film that we need to refine. I think this week a lot of it was we need to focus on our matchups. We need to focus on. We took a lot of time offensively to focus on things that we're not good at. I mean, we know we can run the ball between the tackles, but there's things on our offense that we need to work on, and we put a heavy presence on that this week. Defensively, a lot of it was working on our coverage, working on tackling, the standard stuff. But I think as we prepare for different games and different schemes, shoot, everybody runs something different now. So we almost have to see what we're doing, where we can improve, and then where do we put our guys to work the best against the opponent that we're playing.
Now, do you, just like last Friday night against Canada, do you plan on running two different quarterbacks depending on what scheme, what offense you're running, what play is being called?
We're going to play Tigers football.
I knew it was coming. I told people all day today, he's going to say at some point, he's going to get a question he doesn't like, and he's going to say, we're going to play Tigers football.
Yeah, look, we see what works for us. Everybody's got film on us now. There's nothing secret when you're going into week 5. We're going to run our offense the way that it works, the way that we can put guys in the position to succeed. And whatever package we're rolling out is what we feel like is going to be best. I mean, everybody knows that we're going to put Jermonte back there and run some quarterback stuff with him. And, I mean, he's one of the best athletes in the Blue Hill. I think between our team and their team, we've got between 5 of the top 10 players in the Blue Hill, at least.
Easily, at least, exactly. And there's no doubt in my mind about that.
We can rattle off their 3 guys, and then we can go Sammy, Bryant, Jermonte Alexander, and Avion Moten. And there you go. You have 6. I mean, they're studs. I mean, it's going to be a star-studded football game, so we're just going to have to put the guys in a position to score touchdowns and make defensive stops and win the game.
And we can't wait. And one other thing, it's just one of those random out-there questions. This is actually going to be their first home game. They played 2 away games and 1 at a neutral site, so this will be their first home game. I'll ask you and especially the guys here. Obviously, I'm sure the fan base is going to be insane. I'm sure it's going to be a packed house. What's it like to go against an away team when the stands are completely packed capacity?
Once you're out there, it's not much. It's all, you're zoned in. There's nothing that you're locked in. There's nothing you can really that can knock you out of that. Even when I'm on our sideline, I don't look at our fans. I'm focused on the game.
Right.
It's just a matter of staying locked in and not blocking all that out.
Sammy, does it the fans, home or away, ever get to you?
No, sir.
Coach, they ever swayed you either way?
I mean, I think it depends on how close they are for me. The amount of times I've already heard this year that I suck from somebody.
That wasn't me, by the way.
No, in reality, if I go back and get some water and I hear the fans, that's really the only time I hear them. I mean, you're in like for me, I'm in kind of like a bubble. Like I'm listening to the headset, I'm communicating with Coach Middleton, I'm communicating with Coach Treese. We're talking about what's coming up next on special teams. When you're in those conversations and you're in the heat of the game, unless you're taking a step back and getting some water or whatever, it's not really. It's almost a non-factor. I know we yell our plays in from the sideline, so if it gets a little loud, we have to communicate almost a little differently with the kids. It's almost like a telephone game. But in reality, I mean, Kennett was loud.
Yeah, very much.
In it. But I think especially when you're a player, it's more like white noise. And when you're home and your home fans are screaming for you, that's a motivator. And I think it's a talent to be able to white noise the away fans and feed off the energy of the home fans.
No, exactly. And that's one thing. It doesn't matter how the season's going, because like I said, 20 years, I've seen up and down. Caruthersville fans are going to get loud no matter what. And I have a feeling that really, and I was one of them, I still am, for years, you got to get loud, and it seems like the players really feed off that energy. I was just wondering, in a couple of your top-tier players here, just kind of how that mindset goes when you're on the road, and they got a packed house, and even if you're far away, like in a St. Louis area or something, and maybe there's not that many Caruthersville fans there, and all you can hear is the cheers for the away team. I just have a feeling New Madrid's going to be really loud, but I got a feeling Caruthersville's going to be pretty packed too.
Look, I mean, our fans are great, and I know I've made a joke about them, but these people, I mean, I went to a middle school football game at Hayti a couple weeks ago, and I couldn't even sit in the bleachers.
I believe it.
I was standing on the track. These fans here are awesome. I mean, some of the best I've seen in my travels. And I know New Madrid's doing their blackout thing and all this other stuff, and da-da-da-da, but our tried and true Caruthersville faithful will be there for us.
Absolutely. I guarantee it. I wouldn't expect to see an empty seat in the house come Friday night. So, guys, all three 3-1 Tigers against the 4-0 New Madrid County Central Eagles. You guys ready? You pumped?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
See, I can. You don't even have to say. I didn't even have to ask that question. I can see in your eyes. You guys are ready, and that means a lot to the fans. Yeah, I could go ahead.
We're ready.
Ready? Probably wish it was coming up like in about an hour. I'm sure you guys are pumped and ready, and we can't wait to see it. I know that. Coach, you have any other final thoughts before we get into the game Friday night that you want to tell the fans or anyone else listening or your players?
Basically, my message to the kids all week has been, I was like, our mindset has to be the same as it was against Kennett, as it was going to be against Donovan. The same thing. I was like, we're just going to go out there and play Tigers football. And, we're going to – everything we do that we have to have the winning attitude and the winning thought process to speak it into existence. And I think we're at a place right now where we've got great support. We've got a good football team. We've got a good young football team, and we just got to go out there and play football.
You know what you really have to do? You got to play Tiger football.
Play Tiger football.
Exactly right. Guys, you guys have anything else to chime in before we send you off and send you on the road to New Madrid?
I got some.
That's some. Well, remember last week you told me no more players, so I guess you probably coached them up to say just don't say too much.
No, here's the thing, people. You know, it's the Coach Dom show and da-da-da-da, but I can't come here and speak about the football team without the kids here. Like, they're the ones doing the work.
And that's one of the greatest things. That's one of the reasons I love doing it. a lot of the people out there, probably 90%, they see these kids in jerseys, pads, and helmets. They don't get to actually see the one-on-one with them. So having them join us is fantastic. And guys, I want to thank both of you for coming on the Coach G Show, Coach Dom, whatever you want to call it, Coach. It's up to you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. I want to wish you all the best of luck Friday night. I'll be up in the booth, be calling it for the Boot Heel Sports Network. And I can't thank you enough for joining us, Coach G. You've always been so grateful and so kind. So we appreciate it. And good luck Friday night. I'll see you in New Madrid.
All right, see you there.
Thanks.